Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine a fortune so impossibly vast that historians, explorers, governments, and adventurers have literally spent centuries chasing it. We're not talking about a few loose coins here or a forgotten chest of jewels. We're talking about wealth that completely defies imagination, hidden somewhere right here on Earth. Just picture it. Uncovered maps, whispered legends, and mysteries just waiting in the crushing dark of the ocean floor or the overgrown heart of a jungle. It's the intoxicating fantasy of immense, vanished riches. It's like a siren song that has lured thousands to dedicate their lives, and sometimes even lose them, in the ultimate pursuit of the unknown.
Okay, let's dive into this. Tens of billions of dollars. That is the estimated modern value of the greatest lost fortunes on our planet. We're talking about gold bars stacked higher than a person, silver enough to fill entire ships, and rare jewels gathered from across continents. And the craziest part, the part that's truly hard to wrap your head around? Despite hundreds of years of relentless searching, endless expeditions, and entire fortunes spent just trying to find these fortunes, no one has ever found them. No confirmed discoveries, absolutely nothing. Only clues left behind in dusty archives and local folklore.
Section 1. Legends of the Lost. History's Greatest Missing Fortunes. Let's kick off a fast-paced tour of humanity's most infamous missing fortunes. Because these aren't just myths. They're historical realities where staggering amounts of wealth vanished into thin air. And this brilliantly illustrates that losing staggering wealth is practically a human tradition spanning centuries. Let's look at the timeline. In 1511, the Portuguese ship Flor de la Mar, carrying one of the largest cargoes of wealth ever assembled, sinks near Malaysia. Then, in 1532, after the execution of the Inca Emperor Atahualpa, an enormous ransom of gold and sacred artifacts just vanished into the Andes Mountains. Jump forward to 1715. A powerful hurricane completely destroys 11 Spanish treasure ships off the coast of Florida, scattering a literal king's ransom across the seafloor. And even in modern times, right up in 1945, the priceless gold and amber-covered Amber Room completely disappears during the chaos of World War II.
So, if we look at the ultimate menu of missing wealth, a few legendary candidates top the list. You've got the lost Inca treasure, hidden deep in the treacherous Andes to ransom a doomed emperor, potentially worth billions today. Then there's the treasure of Lima, a staggering cache of church and government riches supposedly betrayed by Captain William Thompson, who murdered his passengers and fled. It's also worth billions, maybe hidden somewhere on the remote Cocos Island. And the 1715 Spanish fleets? We are talking tens of billions of dollars literally scattered across ocean floors worldwide.
Now, when you think of hidden treasure, I bet you immediately picture pirates, right? Captain Kidd, the terrifying Blackbeard, maps marked with a giant red X, buried chests overflowing with gold on remote tropical islands. But actually, scratch that, because the reality of piracy was brutally practical. Most pirates didn't bury anything. They spent their stolen wealth incredibly quickly. The life of a pirate was short and harsh, meaning food, weapons, constant ship repairs, and basic supplies consumed much of their loot almost immediately. So if the pirates weren't carefully burying it away for future generations, where did all the world's missing wealth actually go?
Which brings us to the most fascinating question of our explainer today, and I want to ask you this directly. With all of our sophisticated satellites, deep-sea drones, ground-penetrating radar, and advanced modern technology, why do these immense treasures remain hidden? Seriously, how can billions upon billions of dollars just stay lost in an era where we can track a single smartphone literally anywhere on the globe?
Well, here is your first answer. 70%. That's how much of Earth's surface is covered by water. It immediately establishes the sheer scale of our planet as the ultimate undefeated guardian of secrets. A shipwreck can disappear beneath meters of thick sediment in a dark, freezing, high-pressure environment where it remains entirely untouched by humanity. The ocean doesn't just hide things, it actively consumes them, burying them in environments so hostile that getting to them is kind of like trying to survive on another planet.
But it's not just the oceans. Nature has other formidable guardians. Dense jungles swallow ancient stone ruins in a matter of years, wrapping vines and roots around history until it just vanishes. Shifting desert sands constantly bury and rebury entire structures. Altered coastlines and changing river paths completely rewrite the map over time. Time and geography basically act together as a giant, ever-shifting puzzle. If you have a 500-year-old treasure map, it's practically useless today because the landscape it describes, the rocks, the trees, the shores, literally no longer exists.
Section 2. The ultimate prize, the San Jose Galleon. Let's ground this massive myth in reality by looking at a tangible, real-world example of an unprecedented discovery.
Back in 1708, the Spanish galleon San Jose was carrying an extraordinary cargo of gold, silver, emeralds, and coins. But before it could ever reach Europe, a massive naval battle erupted. The ship exploded, resulting in a tragic loss of more than 600 lives, and taking a fortune worth billions today straight down to the bottom of the Caribbean Sea. For centuries, it was considered the absolute holy grail of shipwrecks. Generations searched for it. Then, stunningly, in the 21st century, it was finally discovered. High-resolution images revealed bronze cannons, porcelain artifacts, and glittering coins scattered across the seabed, over 600 meters down off the coast of Colombia.
Now, what's really interesting about this discovery is what happened next. You'd think finding the Holy Grail is the end of the story, right? Wrong. The exact moment the discovery was announced, an explosion of complex legal and ethical disputes erupted. The biggest question in the world suddenly became, when the Holy Grail is found, who actually owns it?
Finding a legendary wreck instantly creates a fierce battle for billions. Does it belong to the nation in whose waters the wreck rests? Does it belong to Spain, the country whose flag the ship originally flew? What about the indigenous communities who were initially forced to mine the silver and gold centuries ago? Then you have the private salvage companies that spent millions developing the tech to search for it, obviously expecting a payout. And caught right in the middle are the archaeologists who are desperately fighting to preserve humanity's cultural heritage. It becomes a massive collision, pitting the intoxicating allure of money squarely against the irreplaceable value of history.
Section 3. Redefining treasure, from wealth to knowledge. And that collision leads us to the final and perhaps most important part of our explainer. We're fundamentally redefining treasure itself. Our modern definition of value has completely evolved. In the past, treasure hunters were solely seeking a financial payout. Gold, silver, shiny jewels that could be melted down or sold at an auction to the highest bidder. But modern archaeologists approach this entirely differently. They're seeking history, artifacts, and knowledge. They aren't looking for a quick profit. They're looking for a clear, undisturbed window into vanished worlds to understand how our ancestors truly lived, traded, and survived.
Think about this quote. A simple ceramic cup may reveal more historical information than a chest of gold. To a modern historian, shipwrecks and buried ruins are priceless time capsules. Sure, a gold coin tells you about wealth, but it's the mundane, everyday items, the tools, the clothing, the food containers, the personal belongings that actually tell the true stories of real people and real vanished civilizations. That, in the grand scheme of human understanding, is the true treasure.
Let's move to the next point and see how this builds, because this pursuit of knowledge follows a highly structured, rigorous process. Modern science extracts priceless knowledge step by step.
First, researchers have to locate the undisturbed site, which, as we've seen with shifting sands and crushing ocean depths, is incredibly difficult. Second, once they get there, they meticulously study those everyday objects, the tools and the clothing, without damaging the context of where they were found. And finally, step 3, they piece together the intricate stories of those who came before us, truly bringing the past back to life. Let's just zoom out for a second. It is a staggering fact that humanity possesses better maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own deep ocean floors. No way, right? But it's absolutely true. Despite all of our incredible technological leaps, our space exploration, and our global connectivity, our own planet remains a vast, unexplored frontier. There are deep, dark, cold regions thousands of meters below the waves that have never been mapped, let alone searched. The next great discovery is likely right now, completely untouched.
So, the crucial point is this. The search for history's vanished riches isn't just about greed. It's about our enduring human need to discover. As long as there are gaps in our history, as long as there are maps left unfinished, there will be secrets waiting in the dark. Because ultimately, the greatest treasure never found is not merely gold or jewels. It is the mystery itself. What forgotten secret do you think is waiting to be uncovered next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and stay curious.